It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Spill on the bottom away, but it's okay. Huh? It's a Saturday. Welcome, everyone. It is Saturday Matinee. I am JJ, and I am joined here by the wonderful Mandy Kaplan. Hello, Mandy.
Woohoo! Hi.
And Kyle Olson. Hello.
Hey.
So it's Saturday-ish, kind of. That's kind of a fiction, but we're going to roll with it. And this is my first time,
Justin?
Days. It's a time warp. I'm living in COVID land. But we're going to get into some interesting things about time when we get to trailers. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But I'm really happy to be here with you guys this morning. This is my first time hosting this show. So you guys have to be really, really kind to me, okay?
In the big chair. Wow.
No
This is like when we
way.
have a substitute teacher, so we can like run wild now,
It
right?
squeaks too. It's really fun. Doesn't spin, but it squeaks. It's wonderful. Ironically, you say it's the big chair, and I'm literally sitting at my 8-year-old's desk to do this. So I'm like hunched with my knees in the like little crook of where he would sit to like do distance learning, and is going to have to do
the
it.
The power isn't what you thought it would be, huh?
For the unknown future. But yeah. Okay. So let's start with news.
Well, it's Comic-Con weekend.
Oh,
Yeah. So thanks everybody for not watching their panels and taking some time to listen to SatMat.
I saw something about that. We are recording this on Thursday, July 23rd, and I saw...
Spoilers.
Yeah, full disclosure.
Right. Well, now we're already messing up the time thing. Spoilers. Here we go. Spoiler alert. I saw that today, which I didn't watch, but they did at Comic-Con. It's, what is it called? Comic-Con at Home or something like this. They did a panel for the New Mutants.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited. Dude, it's like I'm starting to believe the movie actually exists.
Okay, so full disclosure here, I love that comic book title. And that was one of my favorite comic book titles when I was growing up. And because that movie has reached the trash bin, now has been delayed 87 times. I'm so happy that all the actors just got together and did a live panel on it, even though I didn't see it. I saw it too late. But anyway.
It's up now, though. So, I mean, you can.
Oh, it's recorded?
They haven't been taking them down. So
Cool.
after they do it, they're putting them up on YouTube. So you can still check it out.
Wonderful. Good. I'm going to go look for that.
Yeah. And actually, they showed the first 5 minutes of the movie, too.
Why did they do that?
Just because they want to prove that it really exists.
Because nobody believes it anymore.
I'm fascinated by the story of this movie. I was also a fan of it when growing up too. And so just the saga of this movie, the Sisyphean task of them trying to get this out in front of people's eyes. It's just boggling. And they still are determined to put it in a theater. As we're going to see, that's a recurring thing in the news today.
Yeah.
But they just they will not put it on Hulu. They're just determined to get it in
At
butts
some
and
point,
seats.
I hope they give up that ghost.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So in other news, some of the articles that we pulled up, Mandy, I saw you found something on the Emmys. What's that whole story?
Oh, well, it was just a prediction of Emmy nominations, what could possibly be nominated. And I... not a ton of surprising hot takes or anything, but I love some of the shows and wanted to know your thoughts.
Are you watching like standard TV these days? What kind of things are popping out on the Emmys? What are the predictions for nominations here?
Mostly, I'll read the list. It's Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Schitt's Creek, The Good Place, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can't believe that's still
Still a thing,
alive and
right?
kicking.
2020? Is it?
Dead to Me, which is, I think, my favorite.
I don't know that one.
Okay. Ooh,
what is
JJ,
it?
so good. It's Linda Cardellini and Christina Applegate.
Yes, very cool.
Really, really, really well done. And season 2 did not disappoint. It was just as good as season 1.
Nice.
I think that's the end, right? Didn't that get canceled?
Oh God, no, I don't know.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, Netflix has been
Kyle.
I'm sorry. Netflix has just been killing things left and right. And I think that was one of the things it killed.
Well, this is what I want to say about this list, right? So I'm not really a traditional TV watcher anymore, right? I cut the cord maybe a couple years ago, whatnot, and so it's always the binging and things. And like I see news stories about The Good Place ending. Right? And Schitt's Creek ending and these things. So I just assumed that all these shows that are on this list that you just mentioned are like gone already. Like I was expecting the list to be things that I didn't know about. But I like pretty much everything that you mentioned.
Well, I think there's a couple, just I don't want to leave anything off.
Okay.
Raimi season 2, What We Do in the Shadows, and Insecure.
Yeah, Insecure. So Insecure's over though too, right? Like they're not doing new Insecure.
I don't know.
I think so too.
She's all over the place, so I feel like
right.
maybe she is moving on. But I haven't seen Raimi. Have you guys seen that one? I hear about
I've
it.
not.
Or is it Rami? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
I don't know.
I think it's probably Rami, but yeah, I haven't seen it either.
So if you had a favorite from that list, who would you pick? There's a lot of good things on that list.
I know. I think I would do Dead to Me. I just love it so much.
Right.
You guys?
Well, again, it's the binge-worthy stuff. I've gotten up to maybe the beginning of or maybe the full first season of Miss Maisel, and I think it's fantastic. I think, though, for the one of the whole list, and I think Schitt's Creek is, like, phenomenal, but I think
Can we see my shirt?
Ew.
Yeah. Ew, David.
Ew. David. Yeah. Okay.
Your execution was so much better than both mine and Kyle's.
Right? We just fumbled through it, and you just nailed it.
I think I'd say The Good Place, though. I think for me... from top to bottom, especially when I don't have, I guess it's on Hulu, right? Is that where it is now? So I haven't.
It's on Netflix now.
I haven't seen the last season. So everything on Netflix was up to the last season, and then the last season is just recent. And I think that the twists and turns that happen, especially from season 1 into the bulk of the rest of the stuff, I think it's really smart and wonderful, and it's been touching for me too. So that's where I would head. But I haven't seen any of Dead to Me. I actually, because of tragedy in my life, I'm a little bit nervous to go after it because I think I'll be in that rut with them a little bit. I'm a little nervous about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on the tragedy in your life, but I do think it. I'm not an expert. I'm pretty well versed, but I think it provides so much comedy and heart and twists and turns, and it's so it's like a brilliant soap opera. So it's not the kind of gut wrenching, like deep material that I think could trigger you.
I remember when I saw trailers for it that it reminded me of the movie, and this is not a comic movie at all. For the most part, is Cake with Jennifer Aniston, which was a great film, but for some reason that was really focused on the trauma and the and the sort of grief and stuff like that. Which is again, it's just something that I would have to gear up for.
This is plot driven in a perfect way.
Nice.
It's just
and two dynamic female leads.
Yeah,
like, they're
so good.
Amazing.
Love
together.
it.
So good.
Kyle, do you have a favorite on that list?
I'm gonna have to go to Good Place as well. There's a lot of these shows that I really, really like. I love Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I watch all the time, but like Good Place was like appointment viewing.
Nice.
Like the minute it was available, I was watching the next episode. Yeah, like and something that I watch my wife. There's not a lot of things that we overlap on, so like that was one of the ones that we could actually sit down and do that. It didn't have to convince her to watch another superhero thing with me. Like no, this is really. And so the two of us just and we're glued to every single episode and cried at the end and everything. So.
Yeah,
but you don't love it enough to have a shirt.
I do have a shirt, but I'm just not wearing it because I didn't know we'd be talking about it. But I can go change if you want to.
You do actually have a shirt. What's on your shirt? I want to know.
Everything. The thing from the wall. Welcome. Everything is fine, or everything is.
All right.
Wow.
Yep, that's commitment.
Respectable.
I love it.
Yeah. And also actually, I have a Jeremy Bearimy shirt. I like that one a lot.
I love it.
Because that's one of those like secret codes where if you know, you know. So
right.
when I wear that out,
I think
only
you,
Good Place
David,
fans come up to me and be like,
technically code as well.
Yeah.
You, David,
True.
works for that. Yeah. Because
That's
otherwise it kind of looks like what? Like a bachelorette party shirt, right? No? It's the pink and the cursive. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong,
Wow.
No, that's what I was thinking. Is that incorrect? I don't know.
Incorrect.
All right.
It's homage.
I can't even with you right now.
All right. Well, I do
Great.
think.
Now you've upset Kyle.
What's new? I do think that the Emmys might be more important than the Oscars this year.
I would agree.
Well, television has started to overshadow film on in this day and age.
I think so too. And now with all the lines being blurred between streaming cinema releases, I think those two academies are going to have to get together and arm wrestle to figure out what belongs where in the future.
Yep.
So we just those were all the comedies, right? Are there other things on the list for us to talk about?
That was just who will be nominated, those shows. And then they broke down actors and actresses and such.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I see also in the limited series, they also mention Watchmen. And, I can't talk about Watchmen enough because I loved that show.
Yeah, and the one thing that I had heard about the Watchmen, the Watchmen series as opposed to the Watchmen movie, was that it started with the Tulsa massacre, right?
Yeah.
And I think with everything that's happening now, that it's so great and so important to put history in front, even with creative entertainment. I'm just really happy that those kind of things are being made because, again, talking about film, we're so limited in what we can actually get out and for people to watch. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I knew nothing about it because, of course, in my weird Midwestern education, like somehow that got missed. So that was a huge thing where that was a learning thing for me where I was like, oh, okay. And it's a vital plot point and also a part of history we've never seen enacted in any media anywhere.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And I'm like you. I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about it. So that kind of stuff is super important.
But Kyle knows about Sisyphus.
I do.
That's true.
So
that's the Greeks.
That's a win-win.
Right?
Yeah,
gentlemen.
Well, growing up, they told us that made us well-rounded.
Yeah.
Right? And we just skip the negative history, but we'll go
Greek
with that.
history, sure.
Yeah.
Something happened in the 1900s.
Right.
Next on the list, jumping around, Bill and Ted Face the Music hits on September 1st. Kyle, what's that all about?
Yes, finally. That's one of those things where I worried when all these movies started slipping and moving around, would it actually ever get released? Because it's like, Wonder Woman's going to be fine. Tenet's going to be fine. There's these big movies.
When they come out in 2024.
Yeah, exactly. But they'll hit big and everybody will. But it's the little independent stuff that only could survive on theatrical that made me really nervous. And because this really is an independent movie. I mean, all the Bill and Ted's have been, kind of like very, very low budget, self-financed, just labors of love. And so I was worried that this one was going to get swallowed
meaning
up.
all two, right? Am I missing something?
Now
the
three.
third.
There's
a third. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, this is the third. So
what's number two?
Two is Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Right.
Right, when they go to hell
Somewhere
and meet Satan.
Deep in my brain, I knew of that, but I was maybe ignoring it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. So when they say it's going to open on September 1st, where is it coming out?
Direct to video. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be on demand. So it's like kind of like they did with like The Hunt and Invisible Man, where like you'll be able to rent it.
Now those actually came out in the theater. Invisible Man hit.
Did The Hunt actually come out in theaters?
I thought that did. It was like one of the last weekends. We actually did it for the film board, and we got to see it in the theater, and then all of a sudden it popped, and everybody was renting it at home.
So I guess it's like Trolls World Tour. Is that more accurate?
I was going to say that, but
yeah. Well, and then King of Staten Island, and a bunch of things that have come out that way. I think so. It's probably be available on Vudu and those kind of things.
All the services.
Cool
for rental.
Cool. Well, I think it's smart for movies like that and movies like The New Mutants, get the hint, to do that. Because
I got my $20 ready.
I bet The New Mutants would make more money that way.
I think so too.
Straight up, but okay.
Wait, have we moved on from Bill and Ted's? Did you watch the trailer that was in the article embedded?
Yeah.
And you're smiling?
I am. I think it's completely nuts and demented, and I can't wait for it.
It does not look good. Are we allowed to be
Hey, that's your opinion.
Do it.
I think
throw it out there.
I love the original, but this does not look good.
So what are they doing?
Keanu Reeves looks like he is somewhere else entirely phoning it in.
Probably,
he just
right?
looks mildly annoyed that he's doing it in every scene.
Well, so I didn't watch the trailer because I just assumed I'd have the same reaction as Mandy. So what are the things that you're excited about with it, Kyle?
Oh, just the fact that it's not. This is not a cash grab. Like they're not expecting to make any money off of this, and it's also all the original people back together. So original director, original writer, and then the guys back together. Well,
too soon.
There's a good reason why George Carlin's done it, and also apparently they're doing an homage to him in the movie.
Really?
So like he apparently is going to be there in spirit. Like I think there's going to be a statue of him in the future or something.
Yeah.
Probably hologram. I mean,
exactly.
It's the future.
Right.
So they're and even they're even bringing back Death from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Like they're finding a way to bring him into it too. So
it just didn't make me laugh or even smile, that trailer.
I will want.
But it's like I think of it like it's like the Eagles' 10th reunion tour. It's like the whole band get back together. You're gonna hear the hits and that's it. Are they going to break ground and make anything new and innovative? No, probably not. But you just want to see the original people up on stage again.
Well, I will want someone like you who loves it so much to tell me about it when it's over, because if I watch it, I will just watch it with a bad taste in my mouth the whole way through. So I need someone who's really enjoying that kind of stuff and the mythology.
Resist, JJ, resist.
Thank you.
Do a special episode of Not Worthy of the Film Board, and
exactly. Well, I will say, I mean, thinking about the film board and how we're approaching it with this whole thing has been like a real challenge. I mean, we, looking at August in particular, right? That's the next month that we're doing. We didn't know. I mean, Tenet just now got pushed back indefinitely, but at one point it was July 17th, and then it was July 31st, and then we've just been kind of on trying to stay spring loaded with whatever hits, but it's really difficult now. So September 1st, I mean, hey, when we start looking for September, at least we know this one is available.
That's true.
Maybe I can get you to guest on the film board for that episode, because I won't want to bring too many other people in to see it. The last news item that I wanted to talk about today was that there was a CNN article. CNN, that great purveyor of fake news. The box office is reopening in China, which I think is a huge statement for the industry worldwide, really. There has been some rumblings over the last couple of years that there are a number of movies that American movies that have been financed by Chinese companies in an effort to really get the Chinese box office first. And there's been some talk really about, with the fact that now who knows when we're going to reopen in this country, that things might really start targeting China as the box office goal as opposed to America right now. And so they're getting this reopening. It is going to be distanced. It's going to be, it's going to be that kind of thing that we were hoping for, I don't know, this month. But the fact that it's opening there, that's a big deal. Most of the movies are Chinese that I saw that were listed in the article, but they said they are doing, they're doing a Pixar movie too. So they are opening it to Western movies as well. But I mean, how long do you think it's going to take for our big screen to come back?
It depends on places like my hometown here. I mean, if Arizona and Florida can get our acts together.
Well, you guys are Arizona and California, respectively.
Oh, you're in California. All right, so you're number 3. Yeah.
So now, what would it take for you guys to feel comfortable going and sitting in a theater in your stadium seats?
I was going to say, honestly, a vaccine.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, the thing is, it's not really as much about me. It's about the guy behind me shoving popcorn in his mouth, laughing hysterically right on the back of my neck.
Yes.
And, I was just like, I've had so many bad experiences with awful people in theaters. And then you add sickness into that. Just not for a while.
And it's about the sitting still. I don't want to turn it into like a COVID talk, but, being indoors in a place where you're sitting still, that,
Yeah.
Even though it's limited capacity, I understand we wouldn't be sitting on top of each other.
Right.
And then in China, it said they aren't allowing food and drink. And I'm like, if I can't have a root beer and Cheetos popcorn, I am not going. Right. So,
and have you guys heard about the rules that the Chinese are putting in terms of what can be shown?
What? I didn't hear that.
Because the same, exactly what Mandy was talking about, because of the length of time, they're saying no movies over 2 hours long. So Warner Brothers was so excited. They're like, a theater's opening, put Tenet on the screen. And they're like, and China went, no, that movie is like 3 hours long. So you can't show that at all.
Yes.
So just like what you were saying, if that becomes the norm, like if China sort of then leads in thing, does that mean movies are not going to be over 2 hours long? So like, have we seen the end of Avengers Endgame, the 3 hour epic? Because if you can't show it in China, then why even make it?
Right. We're just going to have to watch Men in Black 2 over and over again, 85 minutes. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What were
I was
going to
say, it looks like Bill and Ted might only be like 43 minutes. So that's probably going to open in China next week.
Think how many showings you could do.
Watch it twice in a row. Exactly. That's amazing. I think it's good news, but I think it's, along with everything else that's going on in the world, it's something that's going to change the complexion of the entertainment industry. And I think it's just something we have to keep our eyes on. And the fact that it hit CNN, I was a little bit joking about the fake news thing. I just think it's interesting that it's on a national news outlet that that industry, or the film industry, is getting a kickstart in China already. Okay. How about trailers?
Ooh.
What
there
new
are
trailers?
still movies coming out.
Have you?
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
So we talk about all this like craziness with the industry and whatnot. So trailers mean something completely different today than they once did. So we have a great order here. Mandy was first in line and got it done really quickly. So tell us about your movie, your trailer, and where are we going to be able to see it?
Oh, boy. Am I supposed to know that?
No. We can work it out together.
Okay.
I looked for mine, and when I found it, I was like, it's going to compromise a little bit of the new movie coming out idea with it. But yeah, well, tell us about the movie anyway. It's Spinster, right?
Well, the movie is Spinster.
Yeah.
And it's Chelsea Peretti is the star of it. Full disclosure, I'm not a fan of hers. I've always found her to push, and she looks like she's really laying back in this movie, and it looks really intriguing to me that perhaps she's giving a more heartfelt performance. The premise is she's turning 40 and going through a breakup and deciding, does she even need to be in a relationship, or could she just forge ahead on her own? And it looks like a dramedy, dare I say? Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
It looks like a very heartwarming, a la Trainwreck, a la King of Staten Island. So, somebody discovering what they want. And I was very intrigued by the trailer. And I'm curious to see it.
I'm sensing a little bit of a through line with dramedy with you, with Dead to Me and now Spinster.
Are you?
Is that? I'm saying. I'm wondering if this is a preference, a proclivity, a favorite ice cream flavor.
My dirty secret is that I don't like superhero movies. So this is what I'm left with.
Right.
Yeah. No, I do. I like very realistic, grounded, movies, primarily starring Sandra Bullock.
Nice.
It's a weird combo.
She could be the queen of dramedy, actually. That works really well.
When I watched the trailer, I was worried that this was going to turn into like, I love Chelsea Peretti, everything she does. And I was going to be like, oh, good for you, because I am also not a fan of hers. I'm one of the people who was glad that she left Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I think the show got better when she was off it. But it is a different side of her. Like watching that trailer, I was sort of like, oh yeah, when she steps back and like sort of just lets the movie be, as opposed to trying to be, like you said, I don't know, in your face or whatever it is. Like I was really surprised at how much depth she really had. So I'm hoping the same thing. I'm hoping that we really get to see a different side of her, because I also think the premise of the movie is fantastic. Like a romantic comedy without the romance. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, because it's really, that's
falling
not
in
the
love
point.
with yourself. And
Yeah. Like I was watching it, and I kind of like halfway through it, I kind of got that the hairs on my arms went up. I'm like, I don't know this story. Like I haven't seen this 100 times in movies. So yeah, I'm very excited to see it too.
That's fantastic. I actually didn't know who she was, to be honest. And when I came to the trailer, I kept mistaking her. I kept seeing her and thinking that she was Lauren Lapkus, and that was just wrong of me. But because it was for something, I got it in my mind that was what this movie was going to be, and then it wasn't. It's something different. I think it does look interesting, and I think if you enjoy dramedy, I think that's why I was pushing on that for you, Mandy. If you like that kind of thing, I think this is going to be a great movie. It's a great movie about choices in midlife and all these things that people like me and my age are constantly thinking about. So I think it is something that I would want to see. I did do some quick research on it, and it looks like it's coming to video-on-demand services on August 7th. Even though it was originally released, I guess, with like festivals and things last December. So it's great that everybody's going to get a chance to watch it. So everybody should look for Spinster on
May I add
August
one
7th.
thing?
Please.
If they leave the end of the movie with her like meeting a guy and maybe she will fall in love, I'll be pissed.
I will too. And the trailer teases it a little bit. The trailer teases it in the way that like she's making these life decisions and then she'll still go on a date and she'll sit, and this kind of thing.
I'm a little nervous that it's going to wimp
walking
out
along the beach with a guy thing, and I was like, ooh, please don't let it be the third act.
Right.
But then she also had the sort of the big chill get together with the other spinsters, learning from the sage women. So there's a chance for both endings. Let's hope it's the right one.
Yes.
Okay. Next movie on the trailer list is Kyle. What did you give us today? Sorry, I giggled already because I know what you have.
Well, I'm a big fan of genre mashups. So I recently watched a video, I think Patrick Willems did a video about Predator. And so he talked about Predator starts out as an 80s action movie and then becomes a stalker movie. Like, if you think of it, like they show these guys as super tough, and then all of a sudden the genre shifts, and now they're being hunted and picked off one by one, just like you would in a horror movie. And so when I watched this trailer, I was like, Megan Fox as an action star, and I watched it, I was like, okay. I just saw the trailer, like, maybe I'll put this up just because. Really, Megan Fox is like trying to do the Charlize Theron thing. Okay. And then halfway through the trailer, there's a genre shift. And so it starts out looking like Megan Fox trying to do Extraction and then turns into The Ghost in the Darkness. And I was like, okay, all right, I'm interested to see it. Like, I kind of am also a big fan of the small budget action movie. Like, you keep it small, you keep it tight, as opposed to trying to do the Michael Bay thing of blowing up every car you can possibly see. And this it becomes a siege thing of them having to defend themselves in this house from these lions that are trying to kill them. Or lions, I'm not sure, but I
think it's one.
Maybe that's the twist.
I think it's
very goofy looking lions.
Yes.
Yeah, true. I mean,
There's that one jump scare, and it's like, ah! And it is the least scary thing I mean,
tell
it is.
that they did not spend a lot of money on the CGI. But I'm also a big fan of the down and dirty action movie, too. So does I think it's going to be fantastic? No. But I think it's going to be a good, like, Saturday afternoon, direct-to-video kind of watch.
Well, it's amazing that you brought up Michael Bay, because did either of you watch the Ryan Reynolds Six Underground that went straight to Netflix?
As much as I could not get through it.
It's unwatchable in my opinion. Some people liked it. Sorry, I shouldn't say it that way. Like, some people really liked it, and it was like, "Hey, welcome back, Michael Bay," with open arms. It was like when I had the 18 different music cues in the first chase scene. It was really too tough for me. But that's what this movie reminded me of when I watched the trailer. And obviously, it's a completely different environment. I love that you see the genre shift. I think Megan Fox has done some really fun things, and I've really liked watching her on screen in the past. I would like her to do more things. I really don't want to see this movie.
What, JJ, you don't like glistening and heavy breathing?
Well.
Because that is what she's doing.
Context is everything, right? Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Well, and yeah, I don't like scary movies. I don't like suspense. That's super hard for me. So the jump scares, I don't know if they'd be scary to me or not, but that would only make me like this movie less than I'm afraid I'm going to like it anyway. I think it's very interesting, and now, of course, that I watched the trailer on my computer, it's popping up on all my media. It's popping up on my phone and everything. So I know that there will be people that like it. It's just not the movie for me, for sure.
Sure. But it also is, obviously, we also remember that the people who market a movie are not the same people who make a movie.
Good point.
So, like, this is actually written and directed by a woman. So I would expect that probably the what we've seen of Megan Fox in the past will probably not be present in this movie.
The glistening?
Presumably.
Is that what we're talking about?
I don't think that she'll be shot the same way that Michael Bay shot her in Transformers,
right,
for instance. But, there's always hope.
What did you think, Mandy?
It was
speechless.
God, I am so negative today. Can we talk about Dead to Me again?
Yeah.
I think it looks too low budget and too laughable to me. The explosions looked like when you have that button on your computer and you can blow yourself up on Zoom or something like this. It really looked.
I need that button.
Yeah.
It really. My son will teach you, Kyle. I don't really know how, but it does not look worth a watch to me.
So you brought up Charlize Theron too, and every time we talk about female-led action movies, I have to tell everyone that everyone needs to see Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde is by far my favorite female-led action movie of all time. I think, and I don't remember if it was the same year that Wonder Woman came out or something like this, but it was so powerful, and she is amazing in it. So if you haven't seen it and you like action movies, I am a big fan of that one.
I think she's very good in it. I was not a big fan of that movie just because it felt like they took a James Bond script and then just changed all the he's to she's. So it felt a little too much like it was exactly like you could have just put a guy in there and it would have been the same thing. I think she was great in it. I liked the action in it too. I liked the setting especially, but it felt too much like this is everything that a male action star would do. It's just a woman doing it, and I don't really consider that innovative.
Right. I hear what you're saying.
I still think it's definitely worth a watch, and like way better than a lot of the action movies that have been out there lately.
Totally fair. Moving on, my trailer that I put out was for Radioactive. Now, did you guys watch this trailer when I put it up here? Radioactive.
Isn't it part of the assignment? We have to.
Yes, but I just want to throw it out. I mean, it's conversational, right? I'm saying, hey, we're all here. I think some of the main guys, the guys who normally host the show, the main guys who sit in the big chair, don't always watch it. And I'm putting that out there so that they can come and flame me online about that. But yeah, I think everyone should.
It's up on Discord.
Right. So Radioactive is the story. It's kind of a historical story. I've seen a lot of these things coming out with a little bit of quiet announcement. We've seen a lot of things about science that have come out recently that you don't hear a lot about that are coming out for the big screen. And I was excited to find this in the trailers for this week. Now, it says it's for this week, but it's coming out on Amazon Prime, and it's technically coming out yesterday. You're listening to this on Saturday. It came out on Amazon Prime on Friday. So you can watch it right now if you have Amazon Prime. It's the story of, and if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I'm sorry, but Marie Curie, yes? Mm-hmm. And how she developed and discovered radium and brought it to the world, and how she was criminally overshadowed by her husband because of the male-dominated science community of the time. I think these are the kind of stories that we need to have told all the time, and I'm so excited to watch it. And Rosamund Pike is the lead in it, and I'm really excited to watch that. I do have Amazon Prime, so I haven't watched it today because, again,
humble brag, playing with
really. I feel like that's like I have running water at my house, but yeah, no, I mean not everybody has it, but it feels like that. I will watch it. I probably will watch it this weekend. Now knowing, I mean, you can't watch it tonight because it's technically Thursday. Time warp, everyone. But yeah.
By the time you listen to this, you probably will have had watched it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, will have had. So what did you guys think of the trailer?
I'm so glad you put this on here because I did not know this movie existed.
That's, I think, the purpose of these trailers.
That's what's great about it. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of Rosamund Pike too. I'm sort of hoping that this will be the thing that breaks her wide open because people just know her as like, oh yeah, weren't you in a Bond movie once? Yeah, like she needs that big role
Gone
to people
Girl.
Can see what she did. Was she in Gone Girl?
Can we talk about Gone Girl for a second?
I'll say then I'll just sit quiet here and drink my water while you guys talk about Gone Girl.
Yeah, she was Gone Girl.
So now I didn't watch Gone Girl because I read the book, and it messed with my head. So, and I have to, and this is a good story for me and Mandy too, because our friend Tommy Handsome, who's also on the show, we had a long conversation about this, and he and I have talked about Gone Girl at length about this. But the book is really interesting, right? It's heavy, it's deep, but what Tommy described it to me was tough but real, and that then I started reading like public reviews about it on Goodreads and all these things, and lots of people felt that way. That the story of a sociopathic killer and a infidel husband was something that was tough but real, and it was really like world breaking to me. Like it totally broke my spirit that so many people believed that was how people really should be. And that is the wrong message of a book like that. And then they made it into a movie, and Fincher made it, and I wanted to see it, but I can't see that. I felt traumatized enough by reading the book. But so what? She's Gone Girl? Wait, she's Amy?
She's Amy.
How am I going to now know that she's Amy, that she's the throat slitter, and now she's going to be Marie Curie? Like, how am I going to do this?
It's a fun movie.
It's acting.
It's
Wait,
not as
Gone
good
Girl's
as
a fun
the
movie?
book. Gone Girl. Not as good as the book,
okay.
but a fun movie.
Yeah.
Fun. And wow. I didn't realize you were such a sensitive soul.
Oh,
I'm
it's
learning
so
much about you.
I was telling you about trauma earlier. Now we're talking about Gone Girl. Like literally, Gone Girl drove me to therapy. And I'm not kidding. Like if you read my review on Goodreads, I talk about it extremely. I needed to talk about that book.
Wow.
So
I'm here for you, JJ.
Excellent. Yeah. Yes, it's a good session. We're doing well. So so anyway, so those three movies out there, and then we didn't mention when Rogue is coming out. By the way, I don't even think we mentioned the title of it. The movie with the killer lions was Rogue.
Yeah, the killer lion movie that no one on this panel wants to see except me is coming out supposedly in theaters at the end of August. We'll see.
Good luck with that, Megan Fox.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
But like the New Mutants, they should release it. VOD.
Yes.
That's a movie that belongs in VOD.
Yes, that movie does not need to have a theatrical release.
That movie belongs in like that Sharknado world, that sci-fi
that's
channel
perfect.
world, right?
And VOD,
that's what it feels like.
And
Yeah.
VOD is perfect for that.
Yeah.
And like we
Yes.
need, the industry needs to come to us and allow us to create general criteria for them to understand where the best money will be made. Because we know. And when I say we, it's like a capital W-E. Like it's like
Let's just say
all of
all
us
next
being the
reel.
audience. Maybe it's a capital A audience. Like we can do this for you guys if you just let us. And we promise that Tenet, we want to see it on the big screen too. Like even if you give us a little sample, we're going to want to see that on the big screen. But this other stuff, like get the money, do it right.
Yeah.
Give Megan Fox her due. No more glistening.
No
Is this
more
stuff you worked out in therapy?
No more glistening.
No, I just, it's stream of consciousness. It just goes. Okay, it's game time. Game time.
Woo-hoo.
And every time I've been on Sat, Matt, we've always played the IMDb game, which I think is a fine game. I get it. It's great, and it makes a lot of sense. But because Mandy gave us the predictions for nominations to the Emmys, I wanted to go a little bit to the TV realm here. So we're going to do something with TV. And I think there was a practice. Once we all got in quarantine, everybody's looking for something to do, on social media and all this stuff. But I think people were starting to do this thing of like, let's recast our favorite something. Right?
Ooh,
right?
Okay.
Manny? Yes?
I did that.
See?
I did
Okay. So because I'm in the picture, I am going to pick my favorite sitcom of all time for us to recast. And
This is exciting.
yeah,
Please
and I
be
think
Alf. Please be Alf. Which they're actually rebooting, so there's no point.
are you
Okay.
serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
talk about that. What do you mean?
Oh my God. Is it on Quibi?
I thought we were going to get through a whole episode without anybody bringing up Quibi.
Oops.
I don't know where it is now in COVID times, but yes, there's an Alf reboot already in the works.
Amazing. Why?
Yeah.
No, sorry. It was someone's favorite.
Why not?
We're
Yes.
not doing Alf.
Okay.
My favorite sitcom of all time, and I think we're generally close to the same age, thinking about the age of our children. That's why I'm going to throw it out there. My favorite sitcom of all time, I watch this literally every night with my parents. The syndicated version in junior high and high school is Cheers.
Oh, yes. I'm actually working my way through Cheers again.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Where?
Yeah.
Where are you watching it right now?
Oh, I own it. I bought
gosh.
I bought. That's the thing is, I'm a big physical media person.
That's so
I bought
great.
them and so they're on my Plex server. So every night I can just, wherever I am, I can just watch another episode.
Okay, so before we start then, if that's the case, I'm super excited about it. Where are you right now in the Cheers
I am in the middle of the
multiverse?
third season.
Third season, so it's still
Yep.
Sam and Diane, yeah?
Still Sam and Diane.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And now we've just met this Frasier guy who I think is going to go places.
Never heard of him.
Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different characters from
boy.
Cheers. Now, wait, I should say that obviously now we know Kyle has watched it. Mandy, are you familiar with the sitcom Cheers?
Yes, and I grew up in outside of Boston.
Oh my gosh, you can bring a local flavor.
Can you do the accent?
You want me to do the accent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the rest of the podcast, I'll do it. Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
it's going to be wicked awesome.
What's the ad that came out with the thing with, what was it, Chris Evans and
Oh, yeah. You can't
John
talk there.
Krasinski.
and John
Yeah.
Krasinski? Oh, it was so wonderful. I
love it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
With Big Poppy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, and Big Puppy. Okay, so we're only going to do 10 of the characters. There's a lot, but these are all the
Only
10 that
10.
I think are relevant. I'm going to try to do them somewhat chronologically. But Kyle, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because clearly, I mean, you're the scholar. It's wonderful. So let's start with Big Dog, alcoholic pitcher, recovered alcoholic pitcher, Sam Malone. Who would you cast for today's Sam Malone? Yes, Mandy Kaplan. Tell
do
me.
I buzz?
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah, go for
I
it. Do it.
posted this on Facebook at the very beginning.
You did it with
of-
Cheers? You didn't do it
I
with
did
Cheers.
it with Cheers.
No.
But
I tried to do something that you hadn't
I'm
done.
going to only suggest my. Oh, and you commented, JJ.
Forgot. Completely forgot. I
please.
tried to tie it to the Emmys and my favorite and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And okay.
No, but
well,
I think it's obvious, and we just brought him up. Chris Evans as Sam Malone.
Oh.
yeah, he's kind of athletic. That could do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I might not know the definition.
And he's handsome.
He's
You gotta be
very
handsome to be Sam.
and he's a wonderful human being. So this is what I don't know. So Sam Malone is a wonderful character from history. I think of him, there is the sleaze element to who he is. That's part of the comedy that goes with Sam. Might not know the definition of this word. Is Chris Evans sinewy enough?
Sinewy?
Isn't
to be a
that
pitcher,
is that? I told you I don't know if I know the definition of that word. So is he like? I don't know. Okay, different word that I also might not know the definition of. Is he lithe enough?
I know you were going to say lithe.
Is he? Because I think of Chris. I mean, obviously Captain America. I feel he's like stacked, right? He's stout. He's this like I'm thinking of someone who's a little bit more of a gadabout. Ooh, I think I do know what that word means.
Okay, yeah, I think he bulks up for Captain America. I don't think that's his natural. I mean, like he's a built dude. He's more than he's more fit than any of the rest of us, even on his worst day. But
speak for yourself.
I mean, the zoom camera's not great, but you don't have the gun show going on that he has. I mean, I don't think. I think he bulks up for that, and I think his normal is less. But that being said, do you think like he should be long and lean? Or are you talking like a tall guy?
I don't know what I'm thinking.
I just think he should be utterly charming.
He would, and he can do the hair thing.
And I mean, he can do that look, and you're just like,
and wait. So, and his role on Scott Pilgrim versus the World, right?
Yes,
he was kind of aggro and a little bit more dark, right? So maybe that'll do it for me. I don't know. Is that who you picked initially, Mandy? Mm-hmm. I am so sorry that I did it with something that you already did. I really wanted to do something new, but
do you have any other what other suggestions? Because I could also
John Krasinski.
What's that?
Krasinski, you said?
Krasinski, same.
No, not good looking enough.
Yeah,
what? And a personal hero of mine, but
yes.
What?
Yeah, well,
he's not good looking
women don't
enough.
go weak in the knees for Krasinski.
He's an adorable dope.
13 hours, Chris?
He's an adorable dope. And Jack Ryan.
He's an adorable dope. That's true.
That's the thing.
But he's also Jack Ryan.
Right, but I agree with Mandy. You see, right? Is he? He's not Harrison
Someone
Ford.
at Amazon is crying right now.
He's not Harrison Ford, right?
He's not Harrison Ford.
Or
he's not Alec
young
Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. Or
Young Alec Baldwin.
And see,
talking about young Alec Baldwin.
And when we talk about Harrison Ford, like Han Solo is Sam Malone, right? That's the thing. So that's and I don't see, but I'm going to go with it. I think Chris Evans is a great choice for us to start with.
I could also be happy with Chris Pine. I'm just saying. Anybody named Chris.
And Chris Pine is wonderful.
Does it have to be Chris?
Yeah.
It couldn't be Chris Pratt, though. Chris Pratt wouldn't do that role.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay, so we're going to go with that. No. So Chris Evans is the pitcher. 100%. Okay, so then next. Okay, so we're going to change the format of this. And I'm not really a competitive person anyway, so this is great that Mandy can lead us on this. So who's Diane? Who was your pick of Diane? And then let's talk to who your pick of Diane. Do you have the post that you made, Mandy? Referenceable? Okay, great. So who was your Diane?
So we've cast Chris Evans.
We did.
So we need to find a female lead who can stand up with Chris Evans.
Well, and it's
I have it. It's correct because I came up with it. So, but I just
throw it out. Come on.
I want Kyle to have a moment to think of it. I don't want to.
All right, I'm gonna just say it and I'll just let it hit me.
All right.
Anna Kendrick. Quirky, talented, charming,
smart.
Yeah.
Opinionated. Like she could really do that type A thing. She actually in Scott Pilgrim she had that thing.
So, but Anna Kendrick. Okay, so I love Anna Kendrick. Let's start with that. Like there's very few things that I've seen Anna Kendrick in that I haven't liked. She brightens my day every time she's on screen. What she doesn't ever play the know-it-all though, does she?
But I bet she could.
I mean, maybe an Up in the Air. But I'm trying to think of like this, like what I see of Diane is this sort of proper, like total, like immensely too much proper posture, right? Like this whole thing of like up, like stick up your ass. Like I'm just going to say that.
What
right?
about so when you said that, it made me think of a name. What about Maggie Gyllenhaal?
She could do it. She could do it.
She has a much more.
Yeah, I don't know. Does she have the comic chops?
That's the question. Does she have the comic chops? I don't know.
Yeah.
She was in Secretary, which was a
fantastic film.
Comedy?
No, it's not a comedy, but yeah, but I love that movie. But yeah, I get it. I get why she would be there, but yeah, that's not
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
You both looked up to the side for
Really?
those
To the
who are
same
not
side?
watching.
Is there like
yes,
a psychological
it's adorable.
thing
You
when
both
we look
went,
that direction?
huh.
We're bringing up
casting
all
it in my
these
head.
are all women that I love so deeply, but it's not. They aren't the people that I'm thinking of. Oh wait! Oh, I think I have it.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Let me get it. It's going to take a while. I'm going to need to get the name. Okay, keep talking. Talking amongst yourself. Talk about Kristen Wiig more.
So, Kristen Wiig, huh?
Well, we know she's got the comic chops.
Yes.
She does. And we know she can do character.
Yeah. She can
And
do
just
anything.
even if you just take her from Bridesmaids and just move her a little to one side, that's very Diane.
Judy Greer.
I'm anti-Judy
man,
Greer.
I was just about to. I was just
really?
Yeah.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Well, we can't get consensus on that if someone's anti. There's only 3 of us, so yeah.
I was actually gonna just about to be a Hollywood douchebag and be like, is she the right age?
What? Really?
Well, I think Judy Greer is. I'm a big Judy Greer fan, but I think she's like 10 years older than Chris Evans.
Correct.
Oh.
So I don't think that the Sam and Diane thing plays as well when you have them any discrepancy. Like,
didn't
I don't
think
think
about that.
you couldn't cast a 20-year-old to play Diane either.
Right.
Right.
You have to get somebody who's within a couple of years of Chris Evans where he is,
Yeah.
which is mid-30s.
Yeah. I don't.
Plus, because to be Sam, you have to have some years behind you.
Right.
Gotta have
Yeah.
some,
He was a
some
pro
road
baseball
dust.
player, and he
Yeah.
washed
Yeah.
out. Okay. So of those 4, I think it's somewhere between the first 2 then. Right?
Yeah.
It's got to be either Mandy's
this is
ultimate
Mandy's
first
game.
choice. You know?
We're just circling back to her original choices.
Let's go with Anna Kendrick. Okay, next. This is not. Oh well, let's stay with chronological. So who's your?
Just as a point of clarification, this is a Cheers television reboot,
Yes.
or the Cheers the movie?
Television reboot.
Okay,
yeah,
just making
we
sure.
don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to step so far into other dimensions here. Okay,
Sure.
who's your coach? Wait, I might actually. Do you have 10 people on your list, Mandy?
I don't know. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 8. So there might be.
So I'm gonna have a couple that you don't have. So how
Yeah.
about coach? Do you have a coach?
I had a great coach, and you approved it on Facebook, so it's ready to go.
This is so great. I love this. It's like memory time. Who was it?
Danny Glover.
I love Danny Glover in this.
Danny Glover.
Yes.
And he just did Jumanji 2, and he was so funny
That's
and charming
perfect.
and
That is-
light.
and that's
Yeah.
the Danny Glover that I'm thinking. I don't even want to think of anyone else. Kyle, if you have someone, suggest it, but I already backed up Mandy on this, so I think you're going to run into a wall.
After that, no, I had an idea, but
Yes.
like Danny Glover is so much better.
Okay, great. Okay, so Danny Glover's coach. Oh, that's so smart, too. And we've seen him play that character, too, the sort of daft, lovable. I love it. Okay, great. Okay, so next on my list then would be Carla. Carla's got to be on your list, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Am I still going first? I feel
Yes,
terrible.
we're doing
No,
it.
go ahead.
Well, we had to
You
change
have
the
the
nature of the
list.
game because we have to go
Yeah.
with you. I'm really excited to find the 2 that are not on your list, but Carla's
Okay.
next. So who is it?
Aquafina.
That's so
It's a
wonderful.
possibility that I had just watched Jumanji 2. But
I love Aquafina in everything.
she's so sassy. She's so
Yeah.
smart. She can do deadpan. It
And
was like,
She
to
can
me, it was a
play all of
no-brainer.
it. Everything that
Yeah.
Carla does. She can play the
Yeah.
tragic. She can play
Yeah.
that, like, I
Yeah.
love
and she can
that
go
choice.
after Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Because that's what Carla's got to do. I mean, she's really got to
Yeah.
Right. It's
stick it
perfect.
to her.
Okay, good. Well, Mandy, you're like 100% right now. I don't know. This is going to be weird.
Crushing it.
Okay, next, Cliff Clavin.
Can we just no, let's talk about spin-offs. Let's just spin off Mandy into her own show where she just recasts
Done.
shows, because I subscribe to that right
Isn't
now.
it great?
Oh, bless your
Yes.
heart.
This is why I thought we'd play this game, and unfortunately, I wasn't creative in my show choice. But that's
I'm
okay.
having a blast
Good.
because I do not know this information.
Okay,
so.
Cliff Clavin. Who's your Cliff Clavin? Is it still John Ratzenberger? Because it probably could be.
No, but I like my choice.
Who's your choice?
John Ross Bowie.
I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Tell me who he is.
From Big Bang Theory. He
Yep.
was the
Kripke. With a K.
Barry
Yeah,
Kripke.
Kripke. Yep.
And he had a
He
list.
had the speech
the
impediment.
speech impediment. Mm-hmm. He's so funny.
He was the rival to the, and he also
Yeah.
he's a. I mean, he doesn't. That's not his natural voice. He doesn't. But
Right.
he also is a writer and director of his own.
Yep. He's a
regard to-
really talented guy, underrated or
So
or
I
not
don't
famous,
know
but-
him super
Yeah.
well. Kyle, do you have any other ideas of who could be a potential Cliff?
Oh, I was waiting for that. Let me think. Let me give that some thought.
Yeah. Was he one of the? No, who was he? Was he on Big Bang Theory?
He was.
But
He wasn't one of
who
the
was he
main
on?
cast.
Yeah.
He was like
Kripke.
one of the.
His
Kripke,
name
yes.
is Kripke. He's like
He was the
always-
rival.
Yeah, always antagonizing the gang.
Okay, got it.
And he probably did like 10 episodes a season. He's very a big character.
Nice. Any ideas, Kyle?
My only thing would be Paul F. Tompkins.
Oh,
because
that's
he's
a good
really,
idea.
really smart,
Fun.
and so he could be that know-it-all thing of like doing it, and he also could drone on and on about that kind of stuff. Because you kind of have to think of somebody who's like can just like do these long rambling speeches and stuff too, and he's really good at that.
I think
like
that's
that.
pretty good. Mandy, do you want to yield for the first time today? All right. Cool.
Sorry, John Ross Bowie.
This is
Sorry, John.
This is creative.
Done.
We're innovating as we go. It's wonderful. Okay, great. So we found a cliff. That's wonderful. I like that too. I would go with
About the right age.
Yeah,
too.
and I know him better, so that works for me. Okay, Norm. Norm.
No,
You just walked in the bar. Who's playing him? Mandy. Who is your choice?
Kevin James.
Kevin. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's probably I mean, who else? Right.
right.
It's great.
He'd do it in a second.
Wait,
too.
but is there now only Kyle? Because you brought this up earlier. Is there an age thing there? Probably not. Because Norm can be
don't think
any
so.
age of
Norm
a
could be any age.
middle-aged
He's
gentleman.
just an office drone.
Is that? Does he have a job? What was his job?
CPA.
Well,
He was a
at the-
CPA. Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, that's right. At the time, he's currently out of work, where I am in the show. But I think that's just a temporary situation. He'll be back.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
hope so.
yeah.
I hope he
Gee, will
bounces
things work
back
out in the
and
next
lands on
11
his feet.
seasons?
Spoiler alert. Old show. Let's. Yeah. Next on the list, I have Frasier.
I think I forgot Frasier.
So okay, here it is.
okay.
Here it is. So
Okay.
now, Frasier's a complicated character for me because growing up watching all these characters, they all seemed really old to me when I was younger, right?
Right.
And Frasier in particular, because of his personality, seemed very, very old. So
And hairline.
when they spun off and created Frasier being single in Seattle with a much older father, young me was very confused. I didn't understand how old Frasier could have an older father. And I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But so me having this conversation about it is just to tell you guys that in the mindset of who would play Frasier, my mind is not in the right place to make this decision.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's hear
good.
it.
You can keep going if you want to, but I got it.
Let's hear it.
Kyle.
John Hodgman.
John Hodgman. I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look it up.
John Hodgman was on the Daily Show.
Daily
He's been
Show,
on-
yeah.
Yep. He was PC in the Mac and PC ads. He was in let's see, the HBO show with Ted Danson, actually.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Yeah. He's very, very smart.
I know him. What do I know him from? I know him from something. But yeah, that's wonderful.
Everybody knows him. So you see him and you go, oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. I think he's a good Frasier. What do you think, Mandy?
I'll
You're the
just be a
authority.
dissenting vote, but it's
Okay.
to democracy rules.
And what is that? So since you're from Boston or grew up around the area, what is
Yeah,
that
I am, yeah.
accent
He's
that
also an East Coaster.
Frasier has?
Oh no, Frasier's not from Boston though.
No, I know, but that's the point. And he speaks with a particular accent, right?
That's standard RP. That's
What is
like
that?
that is like when Madonna moved to London and
That's
started
received
talking like
pronunciation.
this. Received pronunciation. Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting. So I was wondering because I've always thought that, other than the traditional accents of New England, I felt like there was kind of like whether it's RP or whatever it is, there's a traditional accent that sounds vaguely British, but is not. It's definitely New Englander.
You mean like the Kennedy
Yes,
accent?
yeah.
Yeah,
What is
that's
that?
not what Frasier has. That's
No.
That's old.
Massachusetts.
I don't know.
That's that
Yeah.
Mid-Atlantic
No,
Cary
it's-
Grant thing.
Blue-blooded
No,
something.
it's the mayor on The Simpsons.
Yeah. That's the one I'm talking about.
Boston,
Yeah.
7 years
Right,
ago.
right,
Yeah, that's like the Kennedy accent.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, since it doesn't have an official name, we'll go with the Kennedy accent. I like that. I think. Okay. So wait, I have 3 more, and we're going slowly, but that's okay. Lilith. Maybe Lilith isn't on your list either. If you didn't have Frasier.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay. So who is the dark ice queen that plays the?
Does that have to be about the same age?
Right.
As him,
And whatever
too.
happened to Lilith?
So I was thinking Audrey Plaza would be good, but she's too young for John Hodgman. If that's what we're casting with.
Christina Ricci.
Cool,
I
Christina
love
Ricci.
that idea.
That's brilliant.
Did I do it off the cuff?
Yes.
I think that's great.
Nailed it. Moving on.
What is the last thing that Christina Ricci has done?
I don't know, but she was so clear when she was young as
Right.
Yes.
Wednesday Addams and these dark characters who didn't show emotion. So I just think she could do Lilith. I think
Well,
she
and
could
if you
crush it.
haven't seen it, a movie that I guess it's like 2005 with Christina Ricci that is just fantastic that not a lot of people saw was Black Snake Moan. Black Snake Moan is
actually the last thing I remember seeing her in was Black Snake Moan.
Black Snake Moan, Christina Ricci,
With
Justin
Samuel
Timberlake,
Jackson, right?
and Samuel
Yep.
Jackson. And it's a little bit underrated because it comes off a lot like an exploitation movie. Like they marketed it that way, but it's really heavy and it's really deep. And I really, really like that movie. Okay, so just two more. Who's Rebecca?
I have someone on my Facebook, but I might want to amend it. I have Christina Applegate on my Facebook.
Okay.
But I am in love with Regina Hall, who is on Black Monday. And when she opens her mouth, I laugh. There is nothing I think she is hilarious. And I think she could crush Rebecca with her mood swings and her weirdness. And so.
Now, funny, when you said Regina Hall, unfortunately, my brain went to Regina King, so I had to go and
I was thinking that too. I wanted to make sure that I was thinking.
So I don't know
correctly.
Regina Hall then, but I would trust you on that because Christina Applegate was a good pick too.
Yeah.
But I think Regina Hall and Chris Evans would have a great interplay between the two of them in later seasons.
I like that.
And then the last one is Woody.
Well, I didn't realize I just took Scott Pilgrim and put it into Cheers, but I said Michael Cera.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
No?
He probably. Yeah. Well, he definitely plays the role, right? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Why do we always look up with this? What's the deal?
I know.
What's the deal?
I think it's,
the
thoughts
thoughts are
actually
up
a
here.
thing for that.
Where
There's
are we
a part
coming
of your
from?
brain that you access by looking up.
It is. It is. What is that
adorable.
from Ocean's 11? If you look up, it's a lie. If you look down, it's you don't know. It's one of those things. That's the Matt Damon when they teach him. Anyway, no, I think Michael's. I will, for the sake of time, I'm going to say yes to Michael Cera. I would think. Because he plays that role. He does it. I was thinking of someone more, like the opposite of what we were saying about Chris Evans, someone who is more athletic looking, someone who is more looking that way, more youthful and energetic.
Okay.
Energetic.
I was thinking Jay Baruchel just because he's got a weird energy to him.
Yeah, I was going to say energetic in his idiocy.
Dumb guy. It would just be like this, where are you from, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think Michael Cera is a great pick for that too. So we basically took Mandy's list for this.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the beginning of this segment, I would like to say, instead of playing a game, let's review something that Mandy did that was really funny online that I really had a good time with, but I've totally forgotten, so I want to revisit.
So they could just chop that, what you just set out, and drop that in the front.
I think that works.
Like we were just honoring Mandy.
Creative editing. Let's go with
deserves.
it. Yes.
Bless your hearts.
Next time, Mandy, you and I are on this thing together, we're going to do that game again, and I'm going to try to figure out a show or a movie that we didn't do before, or you didn't do before.
I love it.
So, okay, great.
Deal.
Okay, going next.
Good game, Justin.
Thank you.
Good writing, Mandy.
All right, moving on. Now we're going to the list. Our picks for the list, and this week, our favorite people on Discord selected for us movies that take place in the course of one day, and in order, because things people can get stolen with these. We got your selections. We start in the order that our trailer picks were submitted. So your first movie that happens in one day, Mandy, what did you select?
Well, first of all, I can't stop. I might keep adding to my list.
This is what Kyle said too. It was hard for me. You guys are awesome.
I just had to physically just stop myself.
Yeah, but the most clear, obvious choice to me was Breakfast Club.
Oh, so good.
Good one.
I love it.
So good.
It wasn't on my list, but you kicked that one out of the park. That is so awesome.
That's perfect.
I love it. Okay, Kyle, you're number one. What is your first one that happens in one day?
My number one is I went a little more experimental because this movie actually the running time of the movie is actually shorter than the events of the movie. So the one I went with is Run, Lola, Run.
I love that movie.
I love that movie too. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because it takes place in a day. It actually takes place in like 20 minutes.
Yes, that's on my top 20 list. I love that movie. That's great.
Oh, love it.
Run, Lola, Run. And in German, yes? German movie?
Yes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Es ist in Deutsch.
So this, the thing that I struggled with when I was doing this, you guys both had multitudes, which is awesome. But the thing I struggled with was literally the definition of a day, which is just stupid for me to get into semantics of it. But I, of course, went to the whole 24-hour period thing instead, as opposed to one calendar day. So the first one for me is, which you can find this now, it's on Netflix. I think it just came back up and was out of print for a while, and now everybody can get it, but it's Clue the movie, which is...
Clue's my next one.
I stole it. It's the first steal.
And one of my favorite movies of all time.
Me too.
That's in my top
Wait,
10.
Me too.
I don't know how steals work. You just stole it from me?
Right, so you
Or
can't
I'm-
pick that. You have to pick something else.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you have
fair
to-
enough.
Yeah.
so
I
you just put one in
we're
the
going to
front.
watch that with my son this weekend. That's
so
like
that-
our family movie that we're going to watch.
Is it family friendly?
It's got a
Yeah, there's no nudity. It's got some
There's
light
some-
language.
Kelsey
There's
Ann
a
Warren
lady
stuff.
running around with her boobs bouncing
Leslie
a lot.
Ann Warren,
He's
sorry,
like,
yes.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is dialogue based. It'll whoosh
Yeah.
right over their heads.
Yeah.
And Mandy, how old is your son?
4? No, I'm just kidding.
4.
He's 10. Yeah. No, he's 10.
Okay, so I have an 8 and 10 as
That's
well.
perfect.
So I think it's perfect. I just
I'll
showed
let you
them.
know.
I just showed them Time Bandits the other day.
Oh, interesting.
And they liked it. They liked it. They liked it. They hated the ending.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, like,
Oh, yeah.
the whole "Don't touch it, Mom, it's evil."
Dad?
Yeah. And the fact that it was just over there, like, but what next? And I was like, no. So I think Clue the movie would be great. That's so
I'll let
awesome
you
that
know
you guys are going to do that.
if it's too racy. And JJ, offline, can we exchange ideas? Because we are desperate. Like I'm about to
really?
show my kid Clockwork Orange because it's like we are
It's
in
time.
a pandemic.
It's time. Yes.
Just coming back
Tough
around
but
to what
real,
we talked
right?
about.
No, I'm just kidding.
I showed I have a 12-year-old daughter, and so I'm finding some show her. I showed her Scott Pilgrim.
I showed my
she-
10-year-old Scott Pilgrim as well.
And she was so angry at me because I hadn't shown it to her earlier.
Oh.
She's like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
So
Why did
good.
you wait to show it to me?"
It is
Okay.
super good.
It's like,
Some of
okay.
the scenes in Wallace's apartment are a little tough.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, there's conversations that have to happen. But
he got
I
through.
took my daughter to see The Breakfast Club when she was 11, and there were much deeper conversations that had to happen
Yes.
because
Right?
I remember the TBS version.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, not that. That stuff she really, really loved because the real, honest, raw emotion stuff.
Yeah.
It was that I had remembered the TBS version, not the the language that they used in that, and I was sitting in the movie theater.
There's a lot of it.
Used to be able to do that, going, "Oh wow!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Bender
of it.
really, really talks. He's got a much more foul mouth than I had remembered.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. Let's move on. And yes, we should always exchange ideas.
another
We
section
all
we need
are
to talk
in the
about.
same range for kid ideas,
Yes,
and
exactly.
it's a tragedy when we end up at a Clockwork Orange
This should
together.
be a recurring segment.
Next, number 2 for Mandy.
That is a good idea for next
would
week.
love it.
Like a movie you can't wait to show your kids.
Yeah.
Or then
And also,
and then-
what you need to see, what they need to see before that. So you can't, like some movies, you can't just drop them into. You have to
Right.
like have the ones that lead up to it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, off topic.
and how
Back
much
to
you
the
want to
list.
leave them at the fire station when they don't like the movie that
right.
you
God,
yes.
that you cherish.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Goonies. My kid can't watch it. Okay.
My kids hate Goonies. My kids hate Goonies, and we live in Oregon.
What the heck?
What is wrong? You guys just don't get it. Anyway,
Nope.
go on. Okay, you're number 2, Mandy.
All right. Chorus line.
Oh, so good.
Oh!
So
Oh,
good.
wow.
Yes.
That's a great pull.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks.
Oh, okay, so there's a technicality with that. I'm not gonna mess it up. But so Chorus Line is one of my probably top 3 musicals of all time. I love it. Have the vinyl. I'm super big into it. So
Right.
in the film, definitely the show doesn't have any flashback, but the film actually has a flashback. I don't think it's a big deal. I think
I thought of that, JJ. I thought
okay.
of that, and I would say flashbacks take place in his mind.
I love it. I'm going
Right.
with it.
So he's staring at her,
Who
and
am
he
I
flashes back.
anyway?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
If you give me a job. Okay. Anyway, Kyle, you're number 2.
So of all the times of the year, I think we can all agree that the days are longest in the summer, especially when it's a wet, hot American summer.
Is that all one day?
It all is in one day.
Really?
Yeah. Because it ends with them
one
that
day.
the night when Skylab crashes down. That's how that ends. So from the state, one of my favorite comedy troupes of all time.
You are
Thomas
probably
Lennon
right.
would be a good Frasier.
Oh, he would
Yes,
be.
he would. That's
Sorry.
perfect, actually.
He's got sitcom
Sorry, John
chops because he
Hodgman.
did
Sit
the.
down.
Let's have those two just fight it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dueling Frasers.
They'll make our callback. That's
Okay.
great. I didn't know that was all in one day, but it makes sense when I think
I
about it.
love that movie. Oh,
The next one for me is, and I sure hope this is right because Tommy just showed it to me recently. It's You're Next, which people probably haven't seen. It was a film board movie. It's an action, scary movie where everyone goes for a dinner party reunion at a cabin, and they all get kind of assassinated in a really kind of scary and not super funny way.
it's like
but
Clue, but
Okay.
terrifying
exactly.
instead of funny.
And yeah, it's action scary. That's why I never would have saw it without an ally like Tommy behind me. Okay, your number 3, Mandy.
I'm not sure if this is going to qualify. Back to the Future? Because it really actually... Oh, you did it again. You both looked up. It's so cute.
Well, I actually have the answers written on the wall up here. No, okay.
Perfect.
Well, but see, he goes to sleep though, because the movie starts out one place and he wakes up the next day, and that's when the events take place.
Okay, no.
I don't want to be the rules lawyer, but
I'm an a-hole. Yeah, no.
Do you have another one on your list?
I do.
Do that.
Date Night.
I haven't seen it.
Steve Carell and Tina Fey, which is such a great comic pairing. And it's basically like, tonight's date night. And then everything goes wrong and it all takes place.
That's awesome. I would like
Mark
to see
Wahlberg?
that.
Is he the...
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's so good in that.
Yeah.
I want to look for that movie. I like all those people very much.
It's really, it's silly and funny. And
it's not as good as those names would make you think, but it is a lot of fun.
I like it.
Everybody likes to work. It's good. Okay, Kyle.
Right.
What's your number 3?
My last one. I went a little deeper into the catalog because this one might not be one people know. This was a big deal in the 90s because it was the first time that George Lucas wrote a story for a movie that wasn't a Star Wars or Indiana Jones movie. It's a little movie called Radioland Murders.
I have no idea. I'm just going to trust you on it.
It is. It's
like
a lot of fun because it's a ton of really, really good people. It's got like all these sort of like B-movie comedic all-stars. So you've got Ned Beatty, you've got Stephen Tobolowsky, Michael McKean, Bobcat Goldthwait, Jeffrey Tambor, Christopher Lloyd, Harvey Korman, even George Burns in his last role. I mean, it was great. This is actually, if you remember, this is actually when they were trying to make Brian Benben into a movie star.
Oh, dream on.
Right, there you go.
Oh,
Ready for the win.
All right,
it's a weird, quirky little. It's actually in a very Clue kind of way. It's a very overwritten kind of movie, so it's very zingy dialogue, kind of wacky setup stuff, and it all takes place over one night at a radio station where people are being murdered one by one.
Love it. I love it.
It's a fun one. Check it out.
My last one, please correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I think it's not, is Speed.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Sandra Bullock. Hey, Sandra Bullock expert, tell me, is that all one day? It's got to be, right? Because it ends, it's got the really, like,
wait, but
it's got the tight ending.
It starts out with a different action scene.
Does it?
At the beginning.
Really?
The
and then, like, the next day is when I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't remember. Because I remember there's an action scene at the beginning that doesn't have anything to do with the bus.
If it doesn't have anything to do with us, then it might not count. So we'll pull that out. I have other ones on my list. We could throw out the Phone Booth with Colin Farrell works. Yep. Definitely one. One that I thought was fun that I remembered is Can't Hardly Wait with Ethan Embry and Jennifer Love
that
Hewitt.
movie when it came out.
Oh, I love that movie.
I do too.
Okay,
and so I'm
you
going to throw
people
that
who are
one.
fighting for the Snyder Cut, we need the original version of Can't Hardly Wait released because that movie was supposed to be a rated R American Pie comedy, and they went through and cut all of the stuff out to make it into a happy little PG-13 movie.
I like the PG-13, but I would love the R.
Yeah, exactly. They can both exist, but I want to see the original raunchy version.
Yes, it's a great movie, and I love all those people that are in that movie. Seth Green, I mean, so many people in that one. So I'm going to make my third one that one because I think it's the most fun. So let's go with that.
Well done.
Thank you. And I think that's really all we have to talk about. One thing that we do have to get together here for on SatMat is to figure out what next week's hosts are going to have to talk about for their list. And
my last, just as we end the game, my last two alternates were Panic Room.
Oh, that's good. Panic Room's good.
Fincher. And one of my all-time favorite movies, Empire Records.
So when you mentioned the Radioland Murders, I was going to go, did Empire Records happen in one day too?
Rex Manning Day.
Nice. Mandy, did you have other ones that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I was going to almost jokingly say My Dinner with Andre. Anyone?
Real time.
But I told my mom what the theme was, and she goes, "Ooh, there's this great movie called 36 Hours." And I was like, Mom, just intrinsically, that's not one day. So I just thought that was amusing.
Very funny.
That's good. Yes. And according to Wikipedia, it looks like Speed is at least 2 days because the first action sequence with the elevator happens one day and it says the next morning.
That's it then. So, that's it. It's false. And how about is Dunkirk
we don't have to wait
one
for
day?
the audience to correct us. We self-corrected.
Is Dunkirk one day?
Yeah.
So Dunkirk is one, and then I didn't start rolling like you guys did until I started thinking about war movies or like historical movies and stuff, and like all the 9/11 movies for the most part are one day and stuff like that too.
There was like Johnny Depp did Nick of Time. I think that's a real time movie, right? That's like an hour and a half. It takes place in an hour and a half, right?
I was looking for that, and I instead looked up Out of Time, which is a Denzel movie. Denzel Washington movie. Completely different. So yeah,
still a good movie, but different thing.
So the main show is currently in their Friday series. They've done the first Friday, and their next movie is next Friday. So we have to think of 3 topics that kind of lend themselves to that, or stuff that could be related to stuff we talked about here too. I think that would be fine too. So what do you think they should come up with for their lists next week?
Well, what about a movie that featured a singer or an athlete or something that all of a sudden you realized, oh, they're a fantastic actor?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Ice Cube was not an actor, and then he was.
So
do we need to parse it down to like musician becomes actor, or just any performer?
You don't want to honor Michael Jordan in Space Jam? You got a problem with it?
I actually was thinking more about
I love
LeBron.
Space Jam, but I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like his acting.
No, I'm fine
Trainwreck?
saying musician.
Okay.
It was LeBron in Trainwreck, right?
It was, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and he killed it.
Why don't we say? Why don't we go even tighter for them and say hip hop on film?
Okay.
Okay, all right, I can see that.
No,
as long as I don't have to come up with it, great.
Yeah,
you guys aren't here next week. I'm not here next week. Great. Okay, so that's
right.
one.
That's their problem.
That's one. What else?
Why don't we say hip hop artists whose names begin with the letter X? Good luck, guys.
Exhibit.
Bye.
Exhibit. X don't give it to you. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So
That's
we need
DMX,
two more topics. Yeah. Is it? Really?
Yeah, DMX is actually given to you.
What's X? What's Exhibits?
No, Exhibit is
the
right. You said the right one, but DMX is X going to give it to you.
Gosh, I didn't even know. Sorry.
Time for you to get on your own.
I got to go watch Hip Hop Evolution again.
Pop,
okay.
Pop. Open up the door. It's real.
two more topics for them for next week. It doesn't have to be with Friday. We could do movies with Day of the Week in the title.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then one more.
Next Friday like the first sequel to Friday?
Yes. There's 3 of the movies, I think. I'm going to look at
Friday
it now.
After Next, I think is
Friday.
the third one.
It's Friday, next Friday, and Friday After Next. They are doing all 3 of them.
Is it too obscure to be like sequels that weren't named the same name as, like, it's not like part 2?
Same name sequels? Or,
non-same name sequel.
Non-numbered sequels.
Yeah. Titles.
So no part 2, no the second, nothing like that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Friday, next Friday, Friday After Next.
Not Dumb and Dumberer.
Another stakeout.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that cool? Is that interesting? Well,
I don't know.
We'll see.
Is there enough? I don't know.
Let's pose those 3 to the Discord group and we'll see what they come up with.
Okay.
Is that cool?
I think the top one's probably going to win, but...
Well, what was the top one? Hip hop in film. You think that's going to win?
Yep.
I still like movies that you. Oh wait, but that's just too personal, right? It's not movies that you can't wait to show your kids. But that's not.
I think.
Yeah, that's just us.
Subjective.
That's just between the 3 of us. We're just keeping that as our own thing.
We'll maybe do
Fair
that as a game in a future week or something like that. And if you are listening to the show and you want to vote in next week's list challenge, it's really simple. You just have to head over to the Show Talk channel in the Next Reel Discord community, and you can lend your vote to the chaos that is list picking and movie sabotage each week. This is the first time, I have to tell you guys, this is the first time that there's actually been a steal. So I love how much all of us love Clue the movie, so that we all were thinking about it because it's so special. Yeah. So to get access to the Show Talk channel, all you have to do is head over to patreon.com/thenextreel and become a supporter of the Next Reel family of podcasts. For $5 a month, you can become a concessionaire supporter and get access to show live streams as we record, early access to shows in your very own personal podcast feed, and access to the super secret member channels in the Next Reel Discord. Don't forget the merch. Visit thenextreel.com/merch to check out our TeePublic store. What's hot? Masks. Are masks hot? I guess, yes, they are really hot, especially in this summer. Get your glorious glorious fear? Is that what it is? Get your glorious fear Marvel movie minute non-medical grade face masks today. Kyle, tell me what he's talking about when he says glorious fear.
There is a Marvel movie minute face mask you can get with Rob and my face on it. So you can put my face on your face.
But why would he call it glorious fear? Why would that be literally in the copy?
We're terrified in it.
Oh, because you're scared.
We're
so
going, like the Hulk is after us.
So everybody get a mask with Kyle being afraid on it. And and you can do that there. Again, thenextreel.com/merch. And with every purchase of a Next Reel face mask, TeePublic will donate 1 medical grade face mask to frontline healthcare workers through Direct Relief. Thanks for supporting us, and mighty thanks for supporting our doctors and nurses. Well, this has been fun. I think we went a little long, guys. We have too much fun talking to each other. But thank you so much. I love talking with you.
This has been Web Therapy for Justin.
That's right.
Brought to you by Next Reel.
Come back next time and you'll find out some other scary detail of his past. Anyway, thanks so much, Mandy. Can't wait to see you in a couple weeks.
Yes.
And Kyle, keep it rocking with the Marvel Movie Minute. Great to hang out with you.
That's right. I mean, that's good stuff coming up. We finally got to New York. So the Abomination has shown up. This is the time. If you've been waiting, now's the time.
It's glorious fear, and it's terrifying.
That's right.
Thanks, everyone. See you next week on the Saturday Matinee.
Until next time, true believers.